A symbolical reading of Poor Things, a movie by Yorgos Lanthimos, based on a novel by Alasdair Gray. Disclaimer number 1, spoiler alert. Number 2, English is not my mother language. I am sorry for possible linguistical imprecisions. I will focus on some symbolical aspects of the movie. I did not read the novel the movie is based on. This review of symbolical aspects is by no means exhaustive. It is meant to stimulate reflection. Victoria is the most Victorian name possible, which indicates that we should regard her as a typical Victorian woman. We find her to be repressed, to enjoy cruelty, to have a really hard time accepting her pregnancy. She apparently referred to the baby as the monster. Victoria commits suicide, jumping off a bridge in London. There is a clear reference to Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, also set in the Victorian time. There is a reversal in that this apparently all wrong Promethean decision to put a fetus's brain in a woman's body reveals to be the beginning of a unique process of liberation. Short reminder, Prometheus is the creator of humans. He steals the fire from the gods and gives it to humans, getting punished by Zeus. The newborn Victoria is both mother and daughter of herself. She is called Bella, beautiful. This reminded me of Belle from the tale The Beauty and the Beast. But Bella also reminds of the Latin word bellum, meaning war. All the scenes of Bella growing up in Dr. Godwin's house are in black and white. This seems significant and highlights the first phase as separated from the rest of the journey. This seems a sort of incubation phase, reinforced by a splatter atmosphere of early anatomical discoveries and hybrid creatures like chicken pig, dog goose, etc., which also conveys the idea of laboratory experimentation. Experiments sometimes look monstrous. There is a trial and error dynamic. Duncan Wedderburn is the lawyer that seduces Bella into living with him for a grand journey and aborting the wedding plans with Max McCandless. The name Wedderburn has an assonance with burn and wedding, which seems to imply his function of negating the path of marriage. This happens the first time at the beginning of the grand journey, and a second time accompanying Alfie Bellington near the end of the story. Lisbon is the first step of the journey. Lisbon and London are similar names, same number of letters, both begin with L, both end with N. Lisbon appears like a dreamy, surreal, southern parallel of London. In Lisbon, colors appear. It is not black and white anymore. The incubation is over. There are warm, surreal colors. Lisbon also has an assonance with lesbian. The real etymology could lead back to Ulysses. Lisbon has parallels to London, but it allows for exploration, adventure. There are new foods and drinks like oysters, champagne, small cakes, maybe the Portuguese pastiche. Oysters look like vulvas and seem to be a reference to the feminine, feministic, and sexual tone of the quest. The beauty of female song, expressing the beauty of femininity herself, is encountered in the Portuguese woman singing from a balcony, whom Bella looks at, enchanted. Bella and Duncan stay at the hotel. The hotel is a building hosting many people. There is a unifying style, structure, which might suggest conformism. Exiting the hotel opens up the perspective of adventure, discovery. There is a progression eastward from Lisbon to Alexandria and then to the north to Marseille and Paris. However, we know that the ship was heading towards Athens. This suggests a sort of interruption of the pre-scheduled journey. Alexandria is a place of wisdom, founded by Alexander the Great, who also traveled to the east. Marseille and Paris are in France. Francus acquired the meaning of free in Latin. France appears thus as the land of freedom, and it is the last step of this grand journey, anticipating the liberation achieved. There is an interesting progression in the journey's environment from west to east, but also from a hotel to a cruise ship to a brothel. A first revisitation of the initial hotel is the cruise ship, a special hotel, a traveling hotel, a hotel traveling on water. It is still a big carrier with many people on it. The big carrier might indicate a certain degree of conformism, or maybe the societal nature of Bella's journey. It is a ship. There is an element of movement, discovery, and an element of water, indicating hidden, unconscious aspects. This is emphasized by the two people encountered on the ship, who enrich Bella with new perspectives. The old lady seems to be an image of wisdom and an image of the self. She is a wise old lady. She hands Bella books, even though Duncan throws them into the sea, and even desperately threatens to throw the old lady herself off the ship. The wise old lady finds the absurd situation rather funny. Bella also comes close to nihilism, the black guy who appears like a shadow figure. Exploring the waters of the unconscious presents Bella both wisdom and the shadow. It is significant that wisdom and shadow appear together. The shadow figure shows Bella the suffering in the world. The dead babies seen in Alexandria relate deeply to Bella's traumatic experience. The giving away of Duncan's money appears like a significant gesture of giving up the material advantages, moved by compassion. Bella and Duncan are then kicked off the ship by the captain. They are in Marseille, in France, and they arrive in Paris. The brothel in Paris appears like a second revisitation, transmutation maybe, of the hotel. It is a special kind of hotel. This seems to be initiation-like. There is an older woman evocating the image of an old wise witch, an image of the self. She describes this initiation as a path of pain. This is also symbolized by the mistress biting Bella's earlobes and making her bleed. This seems like a form of alchemical nigredo. The old woman presents this path as a path of rebirth, which is symbolized by the little baby girl kept hidden in the brothel. This seems to motivate Bella. The francs gained in the brothel are connected to freedom. See again, francus meaning free. In the seemingly abusing, painful work as a prostitute, Bella discovers elements of fun and, to a certain degree, even sexual enjoyment. The path of pain leads her to socialism, and she also decides to study medicine. Dr. Godwin is dying of cancer. Bella goes back to London and finds out about her past birth. At this stage, Bella is a well-articulated, coordinated woman, and not the clumsy, inexperienced Bella seen at the beginning of the story. Max McCandless appears very respectful of Bella's intentions. She decides to marry him again, but it seems like there is not really a fire, a deep sexual romantic attraction. It seems to be rather a brotherly affection. The wedding is aborted again, as the old husband Alfie, accompanied by Duncan, the wedding burner, enters the wedding scene.